I mean, he would be the guy who knows who Viktor Orban is. He was recruiting for Ukraine in a GM
I'm in the zoo with the
video.
lions and apes and bears. You probably won't make it.
Shut the fuck up.
Good luck with the video, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Can I see your ID?
Yeah. Can you hold this for me?
No, thank you.
How much time do I have before 12 gets here?
Okay. You don't have an ID?
If I show you my ID, can I go back into class?
Oh, you said 442? I thought you said 842.
Hey, my name's not Marquez Brownlee no more. It's Draco Malfoy. I don't do paper. I only do airdrop.
Well, the Ukrainians have a right to fight back.
I don't do paper though.
I don't care if you do paper or not. I'm looking for revolutionaries. Whatever people want to take this whole system down.
Bro.
Revolutionaries against communism, which he thinks is Russia is communist.
I'm a veteran. Like, do you need me?
What kind of veteran are you?
Bro, I served in Nuketown.
Well, I think it's better to serve and fight in the powers, fucking over the system.
Bro, give me a Glock and a Hellcat.
Take a look at this.
Bro, but I don't do paper though. I just told
Come
you
on,
that.
dude, then get
Look up
away.
the
We
website,
don't need people who
ripcom.us.
aren't serious. If you're not serious,
I'm serious, but I don't do paper, bro.
How the fuck did y'all find this, bro? How did you find out that he was in a Gideon video randomly? How is that even fucking possible? How is that possible that this community has already figured out where this motherfucker, like Where's Waldo, has appeared over time? That is crazy. His name was revealed approximately 15 minutes ago. What the fuck is going on?
You're literally killing the environment.
we're moving on. You go ahead, have your lunch.
No, bro, I'm going to class.
Go to
I'm a
class,
scholar.
then. Go to class.
Wow, this hoe is Hogwarts.
This is craziness, okay? This is craziness. He voted for Trump in 2016. No, I know. We know already. We covered that already. You're late. Chat, you are late. We already fucking investigated this dude's background. We know, so far what we know is he voted for Trump in 2016. He hates Trump now, okay? He actually was kind of weirdly pro Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy. And originally I thought that he was actually pro Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley because like he wanted Trump to lose. But it turns out he actually was pro Vivek and Nikki Haley because like he was a McCain voter and a John Kasich supporter as well before shifting over to Trump. And I think he's appeared too much. This can't be a coincidence. He's a hired actor, clearly. He's been hired by Gideon Zelensky in Taiwan and now clearly Trump. What if we're all crazy and he's the sane one? Yeah. I already got clips of you saying he's pro-Palestine. It's a crazy world. I mean, it's true. He was. Right-wing spin machine has already begun. Man who tried to assassinate President Trump identified as Ryan Youth, an avid Biden-Harris supporter who called Donald Trump a threat to democracy. Fox News reporting that the man arrested with a GoPro, blah, blah, blah. I've been screen recording his social media. He's a Joe Biden and Kamala Harris supporter. Posted their claim that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. He also said he's been to Ukraine to fight in the war. He also posted, I have thousands of Afghan soldiers that wish to serve for the Haiti National Police at cheap wages. Why would you even bring that up? That has nothing to do. Oh, because she saw Haiti and was like, he's pro-Haiti. Like, that's what it is, right? I think that's what she's trying to say. What she should have been saying is he wanted to serve the 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour at the Hasan broadcast because I forgot to fucking run it an hour ago, so I'm running it now in the middle of the hour. Here it is, chat. It is here. The top of the hour ad break is upon us. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $6 or for free with the Twitch Prime. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. You can also send links if you are subscribed, so there is that too. Dude, forget the FBI. This dude was on everyone's radar. Yeah, this dude is like, this is a different, that's a different Ryan who, the donations are not right. The FEC donations are a different guy. Is that what it is? Killed, hashtag killed. Killing anywhere is extremely tragic. God, Twitter is so fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry, dude. If all the blue verified checkmark accounts are so fucking stupid, it's like, this aged well. Like, come on, dude. There's so many funnier things you could say about this guy who obviously is like an insane person. Like, that's what you're hitting him with? This aged well. You fucking suck. You're a loser. You have no interest in being funny or creative. Nah, FEC's right. It says location Kawa, Hawaii. Oh, okay. Breaking, the Facebook account of Ryan Wesley Routh, who tried to assassinate Trump, has been blocked. I managed to take a screenshot before. He's anti-Israel. I'm unclear what part of Israel the Jews own based on this historic map. Judea, perhaps. It seems historically to be all Palestinian. This is him. This is actually him. Yeah. It's pronounced like your favorite weeb word for kawaii. Kawaii? Oh. Dude, Hasan, this is definitely a chatter's uncle. Get the nephew niece on stream. I mean, I would never dare to desecrate the sacred bond between nephew and uncle by having them make fun of their insane uncle on stream like this. Okay? Anyway, let's get back to his interview in Newsweek in Romania.
Here. So the question as far as why I'm here, to me, you know, a lot of the other conflicts are gray, but this conflict is definitely black and white. This is about good versus evil. This is a storybook, you know, any movie we've ever watched, this is definitely evil against good. I mean, we're battling a situation here where, you know, the Ukrainians and the rest of the world are caring and kind and generous and unselfish and take care of one another. And it's just a matter of, you know, we need to stand up for that. That is the most important thing in the world, is just to show human beings that we're kind and we're caring and that we take care of one another and that the world is united so that we feed each other and make sure that,
yeah, his hair is blue and yellow because of the Ukrainian flag, I think.
you know, we all move forward as one collective.
So he clearly doesn't think Trump would have stopped the invasion. No. I don't think he thinks Trump would have stopped the invasion at all. It kind of feels to me like he thinks Trump is being very mean to Zelensky and is probably, I think this guy became, the funniest part of this is I think he became a Russiagator after Russiagate. Okay? I think he became a Russiagate guy like far after Russiagate was like even a thing. Like after MSNBC was like, all right, never mind. We investigated a lot of the stuff. There was a lot of like weirdly pro-Israel accounts involved in the election interference. We're just going to stop talking about this altogether. And he became a Russiagator way too late to the game because he voted for Trump in 2016, according to his own admission on his Twitter. So I think that this dude might have actually been hired by Ukraine to do this. Okay, calm down, dude. No, that's not what happened. No, this is a man who was, I think, acting out on his own, okay? This is a guy who literally was insane. A real go-getter, okay? The community found his Telegram. That's crazy that y'all found his fucking Telegram. Last seen on September 13th. Won't be on there any longer, let me tell you. Yeah, I don't think Ukraine hired him, but I'm going to be honest with you. He might think Ukraine hired him, okay? Like, and yeah, this is the like earliest thing that we found about him. Man with gun barricades self inside a business. He is from, I think this is literally where he's from originally. Reddit knows him. Have you contacted Ryan Routh? He had a volunteer information center and kept track of all the international volunteers with little Ukrainian flags with each other's name on the Maidan. Ryan Routh is a pest who tries to get around official Ukrainian army policy, misrepresents himself, and tried to get a number of Syrian and Afghani citizens into the Legion. Avoid him. He helped a few of my friends find units last year when the Legion had really strict requirements for a while. I do believe you about the Syrians and Afghans, though. Most of what he does is help international volunteers join a unit, so he should still be in contact with most of them. He may do good things. He also put Ukrainian recruiters' names and phone numbers on his personal blog without permission. They found out when random people began messaging them. He also got salty when there were security why the Ukrainians, the pro-Ukrainian subreddit, knowing who this guy is insane. Okay? I think this guy just has a very one, things that we know about Ryan Routh, he's a real go-getter. Okay? If he puts his mind to something, he's gonna go out and do it. Okay? He's gonna go out. He went to Ukraine. Okay? He literally went to Ukraine. He also personally, I think, tried to start a business in Hawaii to build houses for homeless people in Hawaii. Okay. Here it is. Kwahale homeless concept generating offers of donations. Among them was a Kailua couple that pledged $40,000 to fund the construction of more tiny homes. Ryan Routh, the owner of Camp Box Honolulu, which builds storage units and tiny houses, said his donation of a tiny house allows him to use his expertise to address a larger problem. Yeah. It seems he lived in Greensboro, North Carolina, and moved out of the state in 2020. I think he also, not only did he live in Greensboro, but he also had a house in Hawaii as well. Because he mentioned that he has an empty house in Hawaii because he wanted to bring, I can't believe I'm saying this. He wanted to bring Kim Jong-un to his house as a guest to talk to him. Dude, also he was BLM and ALM. Hashtag George Floyd protest, hashtag All Lives Matter. Local municipalities and states cannot continue to be allowed to provide their own oversight on law enforcement. It is a gross conflict of interest. The federal government must be compelled to always be the legal review of police action. This is incredible stuff, man. This is incredible fucking stuff. He is in a New York Times article. We're going to talk about that in a second. I'm confused. Is this a good dude or not? In the USMC, a lot of guys don't really trust the Marine that hasn't had to stand tall before a man at least once. By this, I mean some sort of run with the UCMJ. This guy at least does sound like he gets shit done. I'm confused. He's quite eccentric, but he's also very involved in helping international volunteers in Ukraine, so he probably knows your brother, or at least knows people from his unit. This is his website. He would probably know how to get help to word out about your missing friend. I think he wanted to fuck Kim Jong-un. Anyway, this is the earliest thing that we could find about him. Ryan Routh was 36 at the time, was arrested without incident at 1 a.m. at Monday at United Roofing. Routh was pulled over about 10 p.m. Sunday during a traffic stop, but he put his hand on a firearm and drove to United Roofing, where he remained barricaded inside. Routh was charged with carrying a concealed weapon and a possession of a weapon of mass destruction, referring to a fully automatic machine gun. He was also charged with resisting, delaying, and obstructing law enforcement officer and driving while license revoked. In the Army subreddit post where he's mentioned for later when talking about the New York Times, I'm always skeptical of anyone posting their exploits on social media. This guy and that Nancy guy rubbed me the wrong way. Ukrainian officials initially boasted 20,000 potential Legion volunteers, but far fewer actually enlisted. Currently, there are around 1,500 members in the organization, say people with knowledge of the Legion. Some are experienced fighters working as a part of the defense intelligence of Ukraine. But there have been high-profile problems. A former Army private first class, John McIntyre, was ejected from the Legion for bad behavior. Internal documents show that the Legion is struggling. Mr. Nance, where is the other one? Malcolm Nance? Okay, where is the article about our boy? Oh. With Legion growth stalling, Ryan Routh, a former construction worker from Greensboro, North Carolina, is seeking recruits from among Afghan soldiers who fled the Taliban. Mr. Routh, who has spent several months in Ukraine last year, said he planned to move them, in some cases illegally, from Pakistan and Iran to Ukraine. He said dozens had expressed interest. We can probably purchase some passports through Pakistan since it's such a corrupt country, he said in an interview from Washington. Hey, Hasan, why were you on r/Brett Are you guys fucking stupid? We literally went on r/Brett on stream. Why was I on Dr. Disrespect Live? We literally went on it on stream to expose my moderator Weeby for starting to fucking subreddit. Do you think I go on Reddit on my own time? What are you, fucking stupid? I don't use Reddit. Anyway, let's continue. It is not clear whether he has succeeded, but one former Afghan soldier said he had been contacted and was interested in fighting if it meant leaving Iran, where he was living illegally. Okay, that's it. That's the only mention that he gets, I think. This man's politics are like the coexist bumper sticker, but the peace sign is the NATO compass. Yeah. If there's one thing that this guy was objectively in favor of, it is NATO. Okay? Objectively. And what I mean by that is American Post Taiwan flag in Kyiv to honor Taiwanese soldiers in Ukraine. Volunteer says if China protests, I can order another 1,000 flags. That's him. Ryan Routh points to Taiwan flag. He would have loved voting for Biden. I agree. But I think he also cared about Palestine, so maybe he was conflicted. Cuz I think he was like pro-Palestinian, like way more than the average American. But also simultaneously, he was so insanely pro-NATO and so insanely pro-Ukraine and so insanely like above and beyond what an average person would care about. You know what I mean? You think this could mess up Kamala's momentum? No, I don't think so. I think they'll talk about him a lot. Like the Republicans will go crazy over it. Average D voter, D in a nutshell, fuck no. Destiny is permanent genocide in Gaza. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, the Ukraine stuff, yes, but I think this dude is definitely way more pro. Like the Ukraine stuff, the Taiwan stuff, absolutely. Can you be pro NATO and Palestine for real? Americans can, okay? Trump making other countries chip in the NATO funds probably made him flip. Yeah. I think I found his Reddit account. We know his Reddit account is called Taiwan Foreign Legion. He's like really, really nutty about like defending Taiwan and also defending Ukraine. He's in a semaphore video too?
Ukraine is reluctant to be cooperative.
That's Ryan Routh, a U.S. citizen who set up the International Volunteer Center in Ukraine to help connect foreigners to Ukrainian military units.
Now I'm talking to over 100 soldiers every day, and pretty much everybody, all of my contacts in Ukraine, they were adamant and pretty much yelled at me every time that I suggested that we bring in
It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. This chat is better than the CIA, dude.
The Ukrainian government didn't respond to our request for comment, but a source close to the officials in Kiev told Semaphore that their top concern is the question of loyalty in the thick fog of war.
The biggest thing is spies. They're afraid that anybody and everybody is a Russian spy.
Those concerns aren't completely unfounded. Russia's notorious private military group, Wagner, has reportedly begun recruiting Afghan commandos. Semaphore reviewed these text messages from Afghan soldiers, which tell the same story.
What I heard was that they were offering them about $2,500 to $3,500 a month.
All right, the rest of it is not about him. He was also trying to fucking recruit Afghan soldiers, bro. This dude is crazy cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, dude. Holy moly. Incredible. God, I love the United States of America. Moments like this is my favorite shit, okay? Times like this, I'm like, God damn, I love the American political sphere and all of its bountiful content. All right, let's see what CNN is saying while I go piss.
His attitude toward the war in Ukraine, the fact that he claims he fought there and was recruiting people to go fight. Does that make it a motive? Not necessarily, but it's certainly something that's going to cause them to want to take a deeper look at that. And again, the social media aspect of this. I mean, he's 58 years old and does have a social media footprint. Not that older people don't, but it shows that he's very active on social media. He did have a GoPro, so he was planning on filming himself, and he wanted to leave that behind, in my opinion, if he had been successful. And so all these things are, I think, important clues, but the most important clues are going to come from the execution of those search warrants and the evidence they're able to gather from his home, a business, interviewing friends, family, smartphones, all those kinds of things. That's where the evidence is going to really come from, and that's what they're actively working right now. And now that his name is out there, obviously there's going to be a lot of interest in tracking down friends and relatives of this individual.
Well, Wolf, just as we're reporting on this and we are getting new information by the moment, I also just want to report some more news that I'm hearing from sources and that our colleagues have also confirmed, which is that in recent days, the Trump campaign was briefed by U.S. intelligence officials about new indications that Iran was planning to increase its attempt to attack former President Donald Trump and those around him. We're hearing this from sources. This is something that was briefed to the Trump campaign. I should note, and I want to be very clear here, we don't know that this new intelligence and this new briefing that the Trump campaign got about this attempt by Iran to escalate its attack on Donald Trump is it at all related to this second attempted assassination that happened today on his golf course. But it does speak to the threat environment.
The fuck do you mean Iran? What are these people are fucking goddamn CNN. Dude, that is crazy.
Just want to get back to you, Andrew McCabe, on this reporting. And while we don't know that it has anything to do with what happened today, what it says about overall what the Secret Service and Homeland Security and officials are taking into account.
Caitlin, what it tells us, it gives us a very small insight into a very, very troubling, complicated, diverse threats that are facing our political leadership today. And, you know, the fact that they've been briefed on these threats means that the intelligence community considers them credible and reliable, and things that they feel like the Secret Service and those engaged in protecting the former president really need to take action on. And so this brings us back to the conversation we had a little while ago, where we were commenting on how is it that this could happen 2 times in just a couple of months, and that someone could get this close to the president from, you know, just kind of poking in from through the fence at the golf course. There is always a tension between protectees and the protective service, particularly when the protectee is someone who's running for office. They want to be available.
This is so fucking stupid. Iran makes the most sense, though. They must avenge Qasem. Yeah, no, Iran doesn't make sense at all in this situation. What are you talking about? This guy is so heavily fucking invested in, like, NATO. I think what's really funny about this, like, Americans looking at a situation that is, like, so unique to the United States of America and being like, someone else must be responsible for this. No, dude, we're responsible for this. Only in the United States of America could you find a guy that is such a goddamn crank that he was like pro-Tulsi Gabbard, pro-Trump in 2016, vehemently anti-Trump, and like the most invested in both housing the homeless and also simultaneously fucking nuking Moscow in an effort to end the war in Ukraine. This is our people, okay? A guy who in 2002 was arrested by law enforcement for barricading himself in his fucking roofing company's roof, ironically enough, in his roofing company's office with a fucking automatic machine gun in his hand after being chased by the police. Like, this is someone who you can only find in America, okay? There is no other planet where you can, there is no other place on this planet where there is a guy who is going to have this many conflicting thoughts in his mind and a ease of access to an arsenal of weapons, and a guy who's a real go-getter, okay? This is, yes, as American as apple pie. He's so American that he's got the United States of America flag on his fucking Twitter bio, okay?
Thank you very, very much. We, of course, are going to continue following all this major breaking news. The FBI says it is investigating.
Yeah, our community scooped the 2002 arrest before any publication, W Journalism. Yeah, we got W. Yo, let's get some W's in the chat for W Journalists.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for joining us as we've been following this breaking news, Wolf, for the last several hours. Wolf Blitzer in Washington. Our breaking news coverage is going to continue. Stay here.
Let Wolf drink his fucking margaritas, man. Oh, Fox is probably going crazy over this. Let's see.
If you have to cut.
God damn it. Fuck you, Fox. I just want to point out, it took me 3.5 seconds of like glancing at the dude's photo to be like, that's a libtard. I'm going to go back to that once again. I'm going to toot my own horn here, okay? And tell you once again, I saw the man, I saw his nipples, and I was like, that's a libtard, okay? I'm like fucking GeoGuessr for American politics, okay? As soon as, yeah, he got cum gutters, that's not a conservative, okay? That's not a Republican, okay? 58-year-old man.
Unit. So, we feel the pain of one country's failure and their conflicts, and we enjoy the successes of other countries that are doing good, and we all work together. And for some reason, Russia does not grasp this concept that we're all one unit, and we have to get along and work together and be normal human beings. This is 2022. We have to work together. It seems asinine that we have a leader in a country that does not understand the concept of being unselfish and being generous and being kind, and just the basic moral values that are required by human beings these days. It blows my mind.
And what are you doing here in Ukraine?
My initial goal was to come and fight. I think, everybody around the globe should be motivated.
He was not allowed to fight, by the way. I love that, like, a guy whose standards, like a military that is very desperate for foreign volunteers, still looked at this guy and was like, nah, dog, we can't give you a weapon. But in the goddamn US of A, he can have all the weapons he needs, okay? That's the beauty of this country. This motherfucker failed the Ukrainian ASVAB, okay? I don't even know how they conduct it, okay? I don't know how they conduct that shit over there, but I do know that they're desperate for people, okay? They're desperate for bodies. And he was still not allowed. He was still not allowed to serve in the fucking Foreign Legion. And yet, in the United States of America, he can have all the guns he wants, okay? God, this country, man, this fucking country, we are such fucking freaks, dude. We are the freakish country, dude. We are the most insane country. A guy who was not allowed to carry a weapon in Ukraine can just, like, do whatever the fuck he wants here.
To come here and support the Ukrainians and support the army, no matter what gender, age, anything. Everybody should be here supporting the army. But I'm 56, so initially they were like, well, I have no military experience, so they're like, you're not an ideal candidate.
Damn it!
So they said, not right this minute.
God damn it, dude. He served. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, Chatter. You fucking piece of shit. God damn it, dude. Top of the hour roofing. Oh my God. At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you fucking, I was cooking up a really good one too. I was cooking up a really good one. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for fucking $6, even though it's 30% off right now, or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. You can also get gifted a sub. Why does he look like you? Because they put my face on his face, dude. Chatters, come on. He does kind of look like you. It is my face. They Photoshop my face onto his. Oh my God, some chatters are so stupid. Holy shit.
So plan B was to come here to Kyiv and promote getting more people here. We need thousands and thousands and thousands of people here fighting with the Ukrainians. We need, we've got 190 countries around the world, and we need thousands from all of them. If the governments will not send their official military, then we civilians have to pick up the torch and make this thing happen. And we've gotten some wonderful people here, but it's a small fraction of the number that should be here. If we have 5,000, to 10,000 people here fighting, that is just a minuscule amount of the 5 billion people on the globe. We need everyone here fighting. That's why I'm in Kyiv, So every project that I promote is about getting people here to support the Ukrainians. We were at a critical juncture in this war where we are sitting on the fence as far as whether good or evil is going to win. You know, right now we're looking at a situation where the world is waning and it's thinking that this is important or not. And we're at a point where, you know, all right, are we going to stand for humanity, for human rights, for everything that is good with the world? Or are we just going to ignore it? You know, if everybody is complacent and doesn't join this fight, then guess who's going to win? It might take 10 years, but we're going to lose this battle if everyone around the globe does not stop what they're doing.
He also wrote this book called Ukraine's Unwinnable War: The Fatal Flaw of Democracy, World Abandonment, and the Global Citizen, Taiwan, Afghanistan, North Korea, and the End of Humanity. Oh my God, he wrote a separate book presenting the book on Amazon. Roosters crow here. I sit at 5 a.m. I shot a white rooster yesterday, and they normally run off screaming, but this one was paralyzed and could no longer walk. And what the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna stop reading that. He's insane.
Get off the couch and come to Ukraine and defend the human rights of everyone around the globe. This is the most important thing going on in the world today. So sitting around and letting life go on as normal.
He also stopped a rape. He fought and chased a suspected rapist and later assisted the police in an investigation. Makes him a super citizen, if not a superhero. For his efforts, Routh was awarded Law Enforcement Oscar by the Greensboro chapter of the International Union of Police Association. A statue shaped like an Academy Award rests on the mantle of his living room. Routh received the Oscar for being the Citizen of the Year. I hope that everybody else would have done the same thing in the same situation, Routh, 25, said. When these types of incidents happen, most of what you do is just impulse. You're just reacting. I was happy to be at the right place at the right time. I'm so glad this guy didn't die. Yeah, I can't wait. He's going to write the most insane book. He is the main character. We're just the background. This guy's like a fucked up Forrest Gump. He's like, yeah, he's the Forrest Gump, but for NATO. He also wrote this article for that newspaper in 1995. Graffiti is giving city an ugly black eye. Miss Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta, looks like a sharp person for VP. I would support her. Did Hillary decline? What the fuck? Prison call, interview him on the pod. I would love to do that. I am, however, afraid that if he ever gets out of prison, he would assassinate me for not being sufficiently pro-Ukraine. Like, this is the exact type of guy who would go around being like, this motherfucker is in the pocket of Vladimir Putin. I know it. Okay? Like, or pro-China. He was not very good at assassinations, true, but he's definitely the type of guy who is a go-getter. He's not going to stop.
Complaining about gas prices and complaining about, you know, your luxury life in whatever country you live in is unacceptable. As human beings, we must support each other. We cannot turn our backs on anyone around the world and expect the problem to go away. So I've been dealing with Russia for my entire life, you know. We had one period where it was okay, but now we've let it slip back into terrorism. So it's just, the world needs to respond. You know, why world leaders are not sending military is beyond me. We're going to have to elect new leaders the next go around that have a backbone and that, you know, have the fortitude to say, hey, we're not going to tolerate this type of behavior. This type of behavior is unacceptable anywhere, any place, you know. So it's totally unacceptable, and why people are not responding, I do not know.
What impressed you the most since you are here?
My trip to Irpin was pretty emotional. So, you know, going and seeing the.
All right, boring yapper.
Jr. happened to be superb marksman, and Eric Trump, it just so happens, was telling me earlier today, with some top-notch sharpshooters, some of the best in the country, they were hitting targets from a mile away. that ought to give people a little bit of perspective in terms of what the perimeter needs to be for any top candidate or elected official. The perimeter can't be 300 to 500 yards because that's considered an easy shot by anybody that has any level of skill. Now, Eric was, to be honest, pretty emotional and said the words to me, how many more lives does my father have here? In terms of, he can only dodge so many bullets. Wow. And he rightfully is upset. And knowing firearms as well as he does, he makes a compelling case. And I'm going to put him on tomorrow night, and he's going to describe this in his own way and how he felt. The whole family has to be upset. I remember the last time when this happened in Butler, poor Barron Trump found out somebody ran over to him and said, your dad shot, we think he's dead. For a kid that's about to go off to college, I don't think that's a great moment in his life, and probably a very traumatic one for him. And for the entire family, and I feel horrible for this family for all that they have gone through. So much of it has been unfair. But just
is he crying
on this? The president tends to shrug this off himself. The president shook the hands, according to my friend Steve Witkoff, of every single person that was out there protecting him. He thanked every one of them for protecting him. He was grateful to all of them. And that just happens to be the way it is. He happens to be. It's a side of him that I wish he would show more often to the American people. But that does not negate the question, Charlie, and I think we're tracking on this very important issue. You've got a tree line, you've got a fence, you're only 300 yards away from where the presidential candidate,
Yeah, I guess his boyfriend almost got killed again, so that's probably why he's a little emotional.
Top-notch Secret Service agent that was able to stop that threat by taking his own shot. I don't know where we would be again today. I mean, the
top-notch Secret Service agent, they missed, dog. What the fuck are you talking about? He literally escaped the woods, got in his fucking Nissan SUV and drove away.
I think there's a lot of questions that got to be answered. This interim report that'll be coming out from Congress is going to be very revealing.
Sean, it's Molly here. I'm having this remarkable deja vu because the last time I saw you in person, we were outside of Bedminster, outside of the golf club where he had just survived the prior assassination attempt. And now here we are in the same situation where it's remarkable that the former president is still alive. Remarkable that we're talking about security failures, the bravery, of course, of the people on the ground there, of the Secret Service agent that was one hole ahead and created where we are today. We're thankfully not holding a state funeral of types. Your thoughts on where this goes as we're still waiting for the first interim report to come out on the prior assassination attempt.
Molly, on so many levels, you're so right. And I remember the conversation we had about this very topic. But if you think of the distance of 300 to 500 yards and the idea, regardless of what the resources are, if you don't have enough resources.
Bro, nobody cares about Trump, dude. Stop crying, okay? No one. Like, you guys do, your fans do, but like it literally, this is so stupid.
That is a.
He's like, why won't people care about our big beautiful? Why won't people care about our big beautiful president? This is so frustrating. Why don't they care? Well, they do. It seems they do care. They just care in the opposite direction. They care enough to like try and kill him. Okay. Maybe they should care less about the big, beautiful boy if you want them to not kill the president.
The threat level in this country has never been greater than it is right now, and that it is coming from everywhere. So that would tell me we need more resources, not just for President Trump, but for the vice president, for the president.
Will this have some real impact on the election? I don't think this will have like a major impact on the election. It is because this guy's too much of a fucking kook, too much of a crank. People hate Donald Trump. Like, I mean, he literally got shot, chat. He got shot in the fucking ear, and it didn't have an impact on the election. So I don't know why the rerun would have more impact. At least this time, it's like actually by someone who is libbed the fuck up. and not like a registered Republican who was like, I don't know, if a president comes around to my neighborhood, I might go and kill him. Like, that was the last guy. But, you know, oh, he wasn't a registered Republican? The last shooter was. This guy was okay, first of all, this guy was also a registered Republican. It's just he was a registered independent afterwards. Or at least as a registered independent, he voted for Donald Trump in 2016. But I'm pretty sure I think he voted for, he's a former Trump Republican turned never Trump Republican. Yeah, he did. In 2016, he was for Trump, at least his own admission. He also didn't have an issue with like Vivek and Haley, which I think is kind of weird, but I guess he like thought that Nikki Haley was like pro NATO, which she is, right? And I think that was the reason why he was like saying like Nikki Haley, like you have to stay in the race until the very end. But I don't know why he was pro Vivek, because like I thought Vivek was like super pro Russia, but like very anti China, which so was this guy. This guy was like super anti China and super anti Russia. Like those are the most like he has a litany of inherently contradictory positions, which is very understandable for the average American. Americans have like the dumbest fucking positions. But overall, I think like if there's a couple things that are the high notes, like things that he cared about the most, it's like pro-Ukraine, nuking Russia, pro-NATO, and pro-Taiwan, super anti-China, like super anti-China, and super duper anti-Russia.
Does this happen here again? Because we cannot create a new normal around a president nearly being assassinated, but yet that's what happened last time. Do you think this happens again here?
Well, Joe, you know, your media analysis is always spot on, and I think you're right about this in more ways than you may know. You're right. It kind of got pushed to the side, and we've kind of been ignoring all of that. And what really bothered me, if we have unfortunately, sadly, tragically covered too many school shootings over the course of our careers, all of us on this program tonight, and when you think about most of those school shootings, we know within hours who the person is. We've identified where they stand politically on social media. We start learning about their background. Maybe they had trouble or problems or whatever it happened to be. We know more within 5 hours than we learned in a month after Butler, PA, and that is troublesome.
She thinks him.
So I think that at the end of the day, that we really need more information and not less information when it comes to shootings like this, and the media needs to not ignore this. I don't want to see any elected official ever in any situation where they're threatened, and this is not political for me in any way. And I want our nation safe and secure. And that's why I don't want defund, dismantle, and no bail laws. That's why I want a border wall. That's why I want vetting for people coming into this country. I want background checks. I want health checks. I want a means test so you're not a financial burden on the American people. These are simple solutions. The American people will sort the political side of this out in 51 days, but this has got to be a top-of-mind issue. Our safety, our security in our towns and our cities at our border, and I think America.
Wait, I don't get it. The guy is like as American as you can get. He was so American. He was exercising his fucking fundamental Second Amendment right.
Like the people that have been.
Are they just assuming now? Like, did they just collectively decide, let's just lie about who the shooter is? Like, dog, he's from North Carolina. Like, it doesn't get more fucking American than that. He is a white guy. What the fuck is happening? Like, how the fuck is this the
wants
immigrants'
free
fault?
housing, health care, education, and free sex change surgery for illegal immigrants. And most Americans don't know this yet, and voting starts early this week in Pennsylvania. Now, that is a disservice from the media that you come.
Wait, free housing, free health care for Americans? Like, what? I wish.
Really fair choice in November. They need to know about this. Now, I'm going to make this challenge. And for the record, when the Biden administration wouldn't give Robert F. Kennedy Jr. a Secret Service protection, even though I disagree with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., in light of his family background, his uncle was murdered, his father was murdered, they were both assassinated, they denied him Secret Service protection for the longest time until after the shooting in Butler, and I had been advocating for him to get that. The minute after he supported Donald Trump, that was it. They took his Secret Service protection away. That, to me, they need a complete reevaluation of who in the political arena needs support. And one other issue that is political that I will bring up. We need to re-examine what happened in the summer of 2020. We had 574 riots. We had dozens of dead Americans. We had thousands of cops injured with bricks, rocks, bottles, Molotov cocktails. We had billions of dollars in property damage. Vice President Walz would not call in the National Guard. Opened up the windows of his family home to smell burning rubber, the smell of freedom, or whatever he called it. And Kamala Harris, 4 days after a police precinct in Minneapolis was burned to the ground, she was out tweeting out a bail fund to let the rioters out of jail, then goes on with Colbert and says, those rioters aren't going to stop, they shouldn't stop, and we're not going to stop. Well, where's Liz Cheney when you need her? Because that kind of sounds like rioting and insurrection support. So I think these are political issues that I know you're going to be talking about the rest of the hour.
Well, we will for sure. Sean, it's Alicia again. I just have one more question. Just wondering, you know, when there was a reporter in that news conference earlier who said that there were 25 of us, referring to the reporters, wondering how this was able to happen. And then the sheriff said, you know, he's not the sitting president. In the room that I was sitting in, everyone gasped. Is this a moment for President Biden where he needs to, where the onus is on him to go above and beyond all protocols and make a decision? We're 51 days from the election, that Donald Trump needs the kind of protection that he deserves.
I think it's been a moment for them since Butler. I think it was a moment. I think they should have had the common sense to give Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in light of what happened to his father and his uncle being assassinated. He deserved Secret Service protection. There were a few of us that were outspoken, begging for it on his behalf, even though I don't have a political agreement with him on a lot of issues. I think that after Butler, there was some improvement. But how did somebody get within 300 yards of Donald Trump with a scoped AK-47 and have an ability come within really seconds of assassinating him again? How is that possible? That is not, for those that know.
You want to know how fucking unserious the situation is? They're basically done talking about like how devastating it is for Trump and are now advocating for more funds to be allocated to Trump's Secret Service detail so he can golf. Okay? Like, my man had 2 hits, okay? One time it grazed him. The second time, the guy couldn't even fire off a shot. And like, these guys are literally like, yeah, he should be able to golf in the privacy of his own fucking private golf course. And there should be a 1 mile radius where there's no one that's ever been a registered Democrat around him. It's like, that's the main point of concern for you? Like, that's what you're actually worried about right now? Okay. You're not even taking this seriously. Why the fuck should anyone else take this seriously? And it's probably because like there's not really anything that you can say about this because, again, the dude is fucking white. Okay? The dude was a white man. So their arguments kind of fall flat in this situation. Not only is the dude a white man, but he had ease of access to guns. Okay? And in that situation, you can't really fucking do anything. You can't really do anything because not only is he a cis white guy, okay, he's like, yeah, sure, he's pro-Ukraine, okay, insanely pro-NATO, very anti-China, whatever. But like it doesn't comfortably fit any narrative that they want to slot into. That's why Sean Hannity just like didn't even talk about his background and immediately starts talking about how like immigrants are doing this somehow. You know?
Around Trump International Golf Club, where the former president was playing around today. Here's how the Palm Beach County Sheriff answered that question.
At this level that he is at right now, he's not the city president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. But because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little bit more people around the perimeter. But the Secret Service did exactly what they should have done.
Is there any info about the shooter? Go back and watch the VOD for the past like hour and a half. We dove into his background. He's fucking nut job, like a total fucking nutso.
Out from a chain link fence surrounding the golf club. The agent fired off 4 to 6 shots and was just one hole of
total nut job and also a major libtard, like incredibly pro-NATO, former Trump voter, turned into a never Trumper, former Republican who voted for Donald Trump in 2016, became a never Trump Republican, and was a single issue voter. He was John NATO.
2 backpacks with ceramic plates, essentially the same kind of plates you find in body armor. And a GoPro camera was also recovered. The suspect was just 300 to 500 yards away from the former president. The Palm Beach County Sheriff said it's not a long distance when a scope is involved. And we just heard Sean say the same thing. That suspect has been identified, according to Fox News, as Ryan Wesley Routh. Now, a witness saw him fleeing in that Nissan SUV, took a photo, quick action, took a photo of the license plate, alerted police. The suspect, Mr. Routh, was then nabbed in nearby Martin County to the north while traveling on I-95. There are those plates I told you about from the backpacks that were recovered at the scene, and you can see the AK-47 style rifle that was recovered. Now, Trump International Golf Club is just a 12-minute drive from nearby Palm Beach and Mar-a-Lago. Of course, that's where the former president resides. Just 4.5 miles away. It's not clear how this potential assassin was tipped off. This was not on any of the former president's schedules. Nobody knew he was going to play except for his inner circle. Of course, the former president likes to play golf. There's no secret there. It's just not clear right now how this potential assassin was scoping out the former president. Did he follow the motorcade out of Mar-a-Lago and then go to the club, or was he already waiting there when the president teed off this afternoon, Molly?
All great questions. Lucas Tomlinson giving us a great breakdown of all the information that we have so far as we get ready to continue asking more questions. Lucas Tomlinson from the White House, thank you. There are questions about security for the former president, of course. Questions about how this happened. We have former FBI agent and Fox News contributor Nicole Parker joining us now. Nicole, thank you for your insights tonight. As we've watched all of this unfolding and a lot of the unanswered questions, we're looking for information more about this suspect. What are your insights? About what we know and what we can gather from the nest there on site as they continue to go through the vehicle and the house and seek more information?
Right, I have a few comments. First of all, I've been watching your programming. Sean Hannity is spot on. I don't know how many attempts against President Trump it's going to take for them to realize he deserves the full amount of security possible.
No, I don't think they should do that. Because I think it's so funny. I love that. I love that.
And I imagine his family, I mean, his loved ones, they have to go through this again. And the election, we've got some time to go. And he is very much on people's radars, and we know this. And Christopher Wray has come out and talked about all of these threats. Iran has threats against President Trump. We have local, officials saying that President Trump is a huge threat to democracy. Do you think that is going to embolden individuals to say, I've got to do whatever I have to do to get rid of him? That rhetoric has got to end, regardless of where you stand on the political spectrum. Violence is not okay. And violence against any political individual is not okay. Violence against any American is not okay. And I think we've almost become numb to it because of many points that Sean Hannity made. People pouring across the border. I mean, it is extremely dangerous. But in light of this specific incident, they mentioned, you know what, he did get more detail as a result of what happened, on July 13th. Well, where was that? I live here in South Florida. I was an FBI agent in the FBI Miami division. I've been to Palm Beach. I've been to that golf course, and that location where he was, there's a bus stop literally within a couple hundred feet from that golf course. Any individual can go up to that chain link fence or wherever it might be. Hedges are not enough. They are not enough. We must honor and respect the Secret Service agent who was able to see that muzzle sticking through the fence. I mean, that is impressive. And again, coming from law enforcement, I can speak from personal experience. They changed the deadly force policy for DOJ after the summer of 2020, and it really felt like they were giving less protection to the, and specifically for us, the FBI agents. I know that's a similar sentiment likely throughout all of law enforcement, where when you are faced with a task, a threat, you do start to double and triple guess yourself. Am I authorized to use deadly force? Because now they come after law enforcement. They'll say, you know what, you weren't authorized and now you're going to get charged. We saw that happen quite frequently.
They're having, dude, this is awesome. Everyone's got their own pet. Everyone's got their own pet project. It's like, yeah, this is because they're just not, like, they're mistreating law enforcement officers. You know? You know the Democrats might approve the additional. Oh, they 100% will approve the additional security. Are you kidding me? They're pussies. They shouldn't. It'd be really funny. It would be really funny if they didn't. But of course, Joe Brandon will do that. Are you kidding me? They literally immediately ran with like, "Oh, we're so sad." Whatever. All this
investigating this is the FBI. Is that seems to me to be a place that you might start. To try to get to the bottom of, well, who did know he was playing today?
And that's an excellent question. And frankly, that's one of the questions I have. And listening to all of the reporting as an investigator, I'm sitting here writing my own list of questions, and that is definitely on my list. I want to know, first of all, and I'm just going to kind of run down a few of the questions I have. First of all, is the suspect talking? Is he talking? Or is he stayed quiet with law enforcement? And I want to know what he's saying. Was that GoPro active? The camera that he had, was that activated or was it not? The social media accounts, what did he last post? What is his grievance?
We already know, dumbass. You should have just looked it up. Former FBI. Is the FBI really hiring fucking dumbasses like this? God damn, no wonder they've fallen off.
Emails, the digital footprint.
They used to like infiltrate revolutionary groups and shit and like assassinate black leaders and stuff. Now they got this lady over here being like, what was his last text message? I want to know. God damn, dude.
Having worked these types of investigations, I worked the Caesar Sayoc pipe bomb case in the Miami division, and we immediately impounded the vehicle. It was taken back to the FBI field office in the Miami division, and you execute a full search warrant. There is not one aspect that goes unnoticed when you're executing those warrants. And I know some very amazing FBI agents in the Miami division. The SAC for the Miami division mentioned that all resources will be offered, the evidence response team and others. They are going to be meticulously conducting this investigation. Again,
we went through literally every single one of the suspects' tweets. They are hilarious for those of you who are wondering. Yeah, they defunded the FBI, brother. What the hell is this? I mean, it's right here. A lot of them got deleted already, I'm pretty sure. But they're just really funny overall. We need to burn the Kremlin to the ground and put an end to Putin and Russia. Let's make Ukraine the whole of Russia in the future. World War III, let's go, people. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to go to Ukraine and fight or die for the kids and families in Ukraine. We cannot sit around and do nothing. We need to flood Ukraine with citizens from around the globe for a massive civilian army. Someone respond to me and let's do this. He was a real go-getter. Hear me out. Imagine this guy just wanted to watch Trump play golf up close, and he didn't own any binoculars, so he just had to use the scope on his rifle. Maybe. I'm literally Ukrainian, and he cares more about Ukraine than me. I mean, he was there. You know what's really funny about it? Perhaps because of the fact that he didn't do anything, like he couldn't do anything, this is not as easy of a case to stick on him as well. Like how are they going to find I mean, I'm sure this guy is so insane. He probably wrote a fucking manifesto. But like, given the way that American laws work, it would be very funny if technically he didn't do anything illegal. Because like in the state of Florida, this is a defendable case. Because in the state of Florida, if he doesn't have like a fucking straight up manifesto, okay, in the state of Florida, what was his crime? He just had a fucking gun? That's not illegal. Like he had a gun on I guess like, is it public property? No, is it private property? Like, was he brandishing? Because if he wasn't fucking brandishing, like, it should be, but I don't think it's a crime to have like a registered firearm. Didn't they say shots were fired? No, he didn't do anything. He didn't fire any shots. It was Secret Service that. No, it's not. This is federal, brother. Attempted assassination still counts even if he didn't fire a shot. I know. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking, like, put your defense attorney hat on for a second and think about the ways in which you can get this guy off. It's not as crazy as you think, because like they have to prove that he had like an assassination intent. Like, they have to prove that he at least like intended to assassinate the president. You know what I mean? And I feel like a really good lawyer could potentially be like, no, this guy was just, he was just hunting. Like, I'm thinking hard about the ways I can get this guy off. Ew. A good Florida defense attorney will get this guy to stay in a luxury mental hospital. Problem is, all the good Florida defense attorneys, I think, are probably pro-Trump, like super invested in Trump. Jayoma will get this guy off. Okay? Call Jayoma. This is the case of his life. Get him on this immediately. I swear to God, dude, get him to fucking pass the bar. That shit's easy for him in the state of Florida. He would do it. And then get Jayoma on the call, dude. Lolo doesn't have a job right now. Lolo, pass the bar in Florida. It's probably easier than New York. You did it in New York. You can definitely do it in Florida. They got like way less laws there, I suspect. Isn't aiming at the former president intent? Excuse me, Your Honor. Who said he was aiming? He wasn't even brandishing. Much to consider. Your Honor, my client is a misunderstood man. He simply brought ceramic targets to shoot at and thought that this would be a large enough area where he would not be disruptive. He's a big fan of nature and thought this big patch of grass would be a perfect place for him to set down his ceramic targets to shoot at. He, as a matter of fact, was really interested in learning how to become a better shot so he could go back and fight in Ukraine. You are a sellout, Hasan? What? You blocking someone known by no one? You are a sellout? Filipinos have mind. He keeps trying, but he can't avoid me. Okay, I'm going to ban this guy. I object. Subjective interpretation, Your Honor. Yeah. Reduce it down to trespassing and give him house arrest. I mean, this is some funny shit. Really. It's awesome. The big weekend show. Uh-oh.
Looking across the golf course at a chain link fence, and there are a couple of, like we saw with these pictures, a couple of bags, one that had a GoPro in it, and I think one had some ceramic tiles in it, and he sees a couple of inches of a short-barreled AK-47 sticking through the chain link fence, and then realizes what it is, and then does something about it. That's pretty amazing police work, and my goodness, how fortunate.
Yeah, we are lucky again. There's no denying that. And I think to sort of try to advance the story a little bit here early on as we are, this is a bureaucratic failure, but an individual success, okay? Because bureaucratically, there's no way there should have been this kind of a hole in the security around Donald Trump. And, you know, as including Nicole has made the point, and many of the other commentators, the protection that you get as a VIP from the Secret Service or from the NYPD here in New York.
Bro, they did the job. Why are they complaining? They did the job, and they did it right. They fucking, well, I mean, they didn't do it super right because they didn't end up, like, actually shooting the guy. But, like, they literally did the job. They protected him. And they're still, like, they're still mad. They're like, oh, no one who doesn't love our big, beautiful boy should be allowed near him. That's the argument you're making at this point. It's like, there should be a 1 mile radius around Donald Trump at all times where, like, people who are mean to him, who have mean thoughts about him, must immediately get arrested. Like, he ain't Bashar al-Assad, bro. This is not happening. What the fuck are you, like, what do you expect?
Beyond Mayorkas, nobody gets fired. And who has firing power? The president. Right. Where is our president?
Yeah, Joe Biden should fire the Secret Service that Trump really likes, by the way.
On the ground. In this team today, where they got the picture of the vehicle, they got the vehicle rapidly. They communicated amongst themselves, and someone was taken into custody fairly swiftly.
Yeah. So the response looks to have been really, really effective. It looks like there was good coordination between West Palm and between the Secret Service. According to the story that we're getting, there was a witness there who eyeballed him, then took photos of the car, took photos of the plate. That's the key point right there. Thank God for that witness. Now, think about what that's like. You're in West Palm Beach, you're in a patrol car, it's a sleepy Sunday, you're not expecting much. All of a sudden it comes over, 4 shots fired at Donald Trump's golf course. You can imagine the adrenaline rush. Everybody goes to the scene, and the service is there. You got to protect you don't know what's going on, and yet it worked. They got the facts fast. They held on to the witness. They got the information into the LPR, the license plate reader, okay? They were immediately able to track that car. They got a hold of the conjoining sheriff's office. They immediately got on it. They did a car stop. They call it a felony stop, right? There's certain procedures to make sure there isn't a shootout. Turns out the gun was left at the scene, but they don't know that. And it looks like they got the right guy. That's pretty seamless, okay? And that happened fast. And you know what? We don't know where this guy resided. There's some indicia that he's not from the area, right? So we don't know if he was doing pre-surveillance to try to pick up where Trump is on a Sunday, et cetera. That's all going to be looked at. But, you know, at the time, they don't know what they're getting into. Is the car booby-trapped? Is there somebody else in the car? Does he have bombs? Remember the Boston bombing, okay? I had guys up there from NYPD, my guys. And, you know, those guys were throwing bombs out the back of the truck. So you have no idea what you're getting into with something at this level. So at this point, I think we can say very good response, well coordinated. Kudos to the team that responded on the ground. You got to go back to the prophylactic aspect of this. Should it have happened to begin with?
Paul, would you recommend, if you were handling Donald Trump's security, that he not do outdoor rallies, not golf? I don't agree. I say that the guy should be able to do what he wants to do. He should be able to golf and do outdoor rallies because that's where he gets the big crowds. But if you were running security, would you say at this point, given 2 assassination attempts in 9 weeks, would you say, you know what, Mr. President, let's keep it indoors, let's keep it in a secure location? What would you do?
Look, if that's the safe answer, right? I'm running the detail. I say that to him, and I would fully expect to get a no back. Right? It's safe for me to say, Donald, you know, Mr. President, do me a favor, don't leave the basement. All right, you know, much like the Biden campaign in 2020, right? Why don't we let's run a Biden campaign, okay? Can you stay inside Mar-a-Lago so I can sleep at night? But I wouldn't expect Donald Trump to adhere to that, and nor should any of us. The idea that with the resources of the American government, we can protect one human being who everybody knows there's a lot of people want to take out. They're afraid he's going to win. That's what's driving this. I mean, I know, look, you know, it's a little bit of a leap what the motive was here, but at some point, you know, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, they're afraid he's going to win. There's 2 assassination attempts here. That's not an accident.
I'm just curious about what happens tomorrow, because after July 13th in Butler, No one from the Secret Service came to the mics to talk to the American people to clarify anything. So in the void, what did we find? Conspiracy theories, lots of questions, all sorts of problems, a tremendous amount of reporting. But what I'm curious about is if we're going to see the acting director of the Secret Service tomorrow.
Someone in the chat. I know a guy who can get some Afghan soldiers to do security. Yeah, he's a little bit caught up with some other shit right now, but if Trump is real desperate for some extra security, we got just the guy. He's got passports. He's ready to let it rip, dude. He's a little tied up currently, but it's pretty funny that the context for this attempt is him golfing. Like, bro's running for president, but just golfs instead of giving a fuck about Americans. The optics aren't even good for him. Yeah, but his fans love that shit. Thank God for, thank God there is a wonderful median American voter out there who knows the solution. People having more guns will fix this. I agree. As far as cosmic tortures go, Trump repeatedly experiencing near misses from people he cannot credibly leverage politically is pretty funny. Yeah. That is a very funny monkey's paw situation for him. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I bet you that in his mind, there was like a brief moment where he was like, oh my God, I hope it's a Haitian guy or some shit. Why can he not leverage one politically as opposed to the last one? Because despite not being like a registered Republican, he's a former registered Republican, a former Trump supporter, and also seemingly was like, let's be real. It's because he's a fucking 58-year-old white man, okay? That's the reason why. Like, that's number one. He's a 58-year-old cisgender white man. It is basically the most protected category, okay? It's not gonna, it's gonna be really hard. If he was like even a 50-year-old black man, you could do that. You could leverage it, okay? If he was a migrant, oh my God. Oh, that would be perfect for him, okay? Sorry about being white and existing for a duration of time. Yeah, as you know, I'm the biggest anti-white man myself. I don't think I ever watched a live of you, and I've been watching your YouTube stuff for years, and today, like 10 minutes ago, I just lost a group of friends because they kept repeating Trump's talking points on immigration, etc., so I'm now here to fill the void. I'm sorry to hear about your friend's chatter. He's insane, though. Isn't that leverage enough? No, that's the other part. He didn't even do this for, like, abortion. You know what I mean? Like, as a white guy, that makes it really fucking hard for him already to, like, make a tailor-made message around this. Because at most you get, like, oh, your words are making this really hard for us. Like, you can't ever do that. If you're a Republican, you can never say words are violence. Because words are literally violence when you're doing it, right? This guy did it for Ukraine, most likely. Like, he did it for NATO, right? And that in and of itself is not exactly like a massive issue. There is bipartisan consensus for the most part, with some Republicans saying, like, we're giving Ukraine too much money, but it's ultimately still foreign policy. So that's relegated to the American bipartisanship status. So overall, it's not like one of those issues that's like inherently just for the Democratic Party. If you poll Democrats and Republicans on like Ukraine, yeah, there's probably a lot more Republicans that want to stop giving weapons to Ukraine or whatever, but like, it's not that big of a wedge issue is what I'm trying to say. It's not that big of an issue at all. In terms of foreign policy, I think like Americans care probably more about Gaza, or not even probably, I know that for a fact. Americans care more about Gaza than they care about Ukraine, but they don't even care about Gaza that much either. So like, it still goes back to foreign policy. That's why I used to joke about how like, there's not a NATO voter, there's not an AUKUS voter. Turns out I was right on that. There is one NATO AUKUS voter, and his name is Ryan, what was it? I'm forgetting his name. Sorry. Ryan Ruth. What? Did you see this horrendous tweet from Ruth? Oh, that gray streak in your hair is stupid. Grow up or go away. Yeah, I disagree. That's the one thing I disagree with him on. Like, that is the only thing that is hot about Tulsi Gabbard is the white streak. Everything else sucks. Like, I hate Tulsi Gabbard, but, I mean, the white streak looks fucking sexy. I mean, she's already, yeah, she's attractive, but also, like, on top of that, she's, like, the white streak makes her look like a comic book supervillain.
They're the ones that should have instituted these changes.
Jason, it's Alicia Acuna. The American people have been through so much this summer. We've already seen congressional hearings from July 13th. We got some answers, but there are still so many questions, and we're supposed to get some more answers, and they're not going to be good this coming week. You have to assume we're going to have more congressional hearings, and we are 51 days from.
You can tell they got really nothing. That's why they keep talking about, like, Biden wants him to die because he won't give him, like, more money for his Secret Service. How much you want to bet Secret Service comes out and says they've already maxed out? Like, he gets max defense from Secret Service more than, like, any other person has ever historically gotten. How much you want to bet? And on top of that, Biden will say probably that we'll give him even more additional Secret Service detail. Because, like, what are you supposed to do? Get 100% of the budget? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the Fox News C-Squad. They don't have their own version of Wolf Blitzer to break out for breaking news? Yeah. Why were the caddies not armed? Yeah, look, this is what I mean. This is not a good position, dude. This language must stop, says Richard Grinnell. Do you realize that if Donald Trump is assassinated, that our country will be ripped into two? I fear for America with these tactics. Your language is radical and contains two lies. For the sake of our country, stop. And then the person he's responding to is fucking Hakeem Jeffries. And the thing that he's responding about is extreme MAGA Republicans are the party of a national abortion ban in Trump's Project 2025. We must stop them. That's not, you can't run a national campaign on being like, you are not allowed to run against my president. He was shot at twice now, even though the second time he wasn't even 1 hour after the news broke of the shooting. Absolutely despicable for posterity. Like, what? You think they're going to cancel him? Are you fucking stupid? This is hilarious. Okay.